very much indeed. Now, an English University Justice Project will today make a submission to the Scottish Criminal Cases Review Commission. It concerns the case of Wullie Beck, who was convicted of the armed robbery of a post van in Livingston in 1981. He was aged 20 at the time, and he served 6 years in prison, but he's continued to maintain his innocence. The University of Bristol Innocence Project have taken up his case and insist that the conviction should be reconsidered. And Dr. Michael Naughton from the project joins me now from Bristol. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Wullie Beck says this was a crime he didn't commit. Many convicted people say that. What makes his case different?
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, we receive about 30 to 50 letters a week from people claiming that they're innocent of the crimes they're convicted of, and we find that about 80% of them are not making a factual innocence claim. So the vast majority of people who say they're innocent, you're absolutely right. You know, they're not innocent. But this 20% of people are people who might be. And then what we do is we look into those cases in thoroughly, akin to a public inquiry, really. And we've been looking into Mr. Beck's case in two different ways. Firstly, we're looking at all the evidence that claims that he committed this crime. And the main evidence against him was claimed eyewitness identification evidence. Now, there was 5 witnesses that were presented in trial in 1981 that said that Mr. Beck committed this armed robbery. 3 of them didn't pick him out in the lineup, so I don't know how reliable their evidence was, but 2 people who did pick him out in the lineup...
2 did.
There was 2 people who did. One was an off-duty police officer who claimed that he saw this offence, and another one. But there are real problems with the identity parade in terms of how it was conducted. Mr. Beck was not moved between the first identification and the second identification. 2 people in the lineup were actually police officers who were actually part of that investigation. So there's a real question mark about the fairness of that ID parade.
Is that not something that could have come out at the trial? Was that not raised at trial by his defence?
I mean, this is the problem. I think that why Mr. Beck has suffered in terms of trying to get this conviction reconsidered to be overturned is because appeals require fresh evidence that wasn't available or could not have been available at the time of the original trial. And that is appeal, and subsequently with the Scottish CCRC, Scottish Criminal Cases Review Commission, that looks into alleged miscarriage of justice, they keep saying that there's no, that this could have been done at trial. The problem was his lawyers let him down. And if your lawyers let you down, that doesn't mean to say, everybody makes mistakes. Juries make mistakes, police officers make mistakes, defence lawyers make mistakes. And when they do, what does that mean? We can't put that wrong right. We have to be alive to the reality that the system is fallible and things can go wrong. And innocent people can be wrongly convicted. And when they are, and when you put the evidence on the table that something's gone wrong, we need to have ways of being able to deal with that.
Do you think the Criminal Cases Review Commission will take a different view of this sort of evidence then?
Well, I would hope so. I think the Scottish Criminal Case Review Commission, we've got quite a good working relationship with them. They are subordinated to the High Court of Justiciary up there, which means that, they are going to be bound by looking for fresh evidence. But what we've done is we've actually presented them with a document today. I sent it by email before I came in, which is 20 pages, which goes into chapter and verse for why their previous assessment, where they were minded not to refer this, is problematic. And we want to meet with them, and we want to help them to proceed and process with Mr. Beck's case so that we can get justice for him and his family.
Dr. Michael